Let's make another randomly generated piece of jewelry.
Today's numbers are drawer 2, impression die 85. All right, and here is the impression die we chose. I already know what I'm going to make with this snake. Let's get started. The head of the snake is larger than the body, so I am adding some silver, fusing it to one end of the silver rod. Next, I press it in my 20-ton hydraulic press, and you can see we picked up all the little detail of this adorable little snake. I use my jeweler's saw to saw around the entire design. I typically try and saw as close to the design as possible, but there's always going to be some extra metal that needs to be removed. I use sanding discs to smooth the edges. And now I perform a surgical operation and I cut the snake in half. You'll see why later. After I file the ends flat, I solder the tail to one end of a piece of sterling silver wire, clean it, and then I will solder the head portion onto the other end. Do you have any idea what I'm making yet? I clean off all the oxidation, and you can see this is where we're at right now. I am using the sanding discs again to kind of smooth the transition between the head and the tail and the body of the wire. Now I'm using a file to just add back in some of the snake's detail. In this case, I am signing the back of the piece now before we turn it into a ring. Obviously, the snake design itself was far too short to make a ring, but by cutting it in half and adding the head and the tail to a longer piece of wire, I can make it into a bypass ring that is slightly adjustable. And I added a patina, and here's the finished snake ring. I've made a similar style ring in the past, and this is just a really great way to take a design that is maybe not quite what you're looking for a specific piece, and then modify the stamping, cut it in half, put it together in a new way to create a completely new piece. I rarely make rings because they are so size dependent and it's never the right size. But if you're the person whose numbers I chose, I will remake this in whatever size that you need. This particular ring is it'll fit a size about 10 to 11. If you want to play along on this randomly generated jewelry journey, I need you to leave 2 numbers in the comments. The first number, 1 through 8, is the drawer number I'll choose. The second number should be numbers 1 through 85, which determines which die from that drawer I'll choose. Thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next randomly generated jewelry piece.